It's a sad day in America, folks. A sad, sad day in our nation's history. What are we supposed to think? What are we supposed to tell our children? How can I look my children in the eye and tell them that a black man in America can't pretend to get attacked in a subway at 2 o'clock in the morning and get away with it? What kind of country is this? What kind of country is this where I can't hire two of my buddies to pretend to be MAGA attackers, throw a rope around my neck, and then I gotta go to prison? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And we're gonna take a look at it before we do. Hit the subscribe button as we look at the stupidest case in the history of America. Maybe that's hyperbolic, but this has been a train wreck. A train wreck. Now, as we all know, Mr. Jussie Smollett, brave actor, brave man, that the world just does not understand his genius. He was on a show called Empire, which I don't know, I guess it was a popular show, but he wanted more. He wanted to be known as a victim of a hate crime. Now, there's a lot of conspiracies as to why. I don't want to get into them, but ultimately it seems like he wanted to raise his profile. He wanted everyone to feel bad for him, because let's be honest, how many of you guys had heard of the Mr. Juicy Fruit here before? Juicy Fruit, he's a gay man. I shouldn't call him that. That's terrible. I just made that connection. Who had heard of Juicy before this trial? I'm not calling gay people fruit. That was just a random common trouble. Now, I had never heard of this guy. Let's be honest. And then all of a sudden, he gets attacked again by the men with the MAGA hats throwing noose around his neck. Next thing I know, the president's tweeting about it. Kamala Harris is tweeting about it. All this horrible crime. Well, it was, according to the law and according to the evidence, I think the evidence is very clear. I don't know how you even argue against this god-dang verdict. He was found guilty. Okay, he was in contact with the guys who attacked him. There's video footage of it happening. I think there's like evidence he bought the rope. I don't remember exactly everything, but there's so much evidence against him. And today we got to see his sentencing. Now, there was a bunch of things, and here's what drove me nuts, is that so many people sent letters on behalf of this guy. It was Jesse Jackson sent a letter, the Black Lives Matter organization, even Samuel L. Jackson, all talking about how Jussie is the greatest man, how he cares deeply about the people, and he's committed to social justice. And thank God this judge took him to task and basically told him, it's tragic that you claimed so much to care about social justice, and yet you have set your own cause back horribly by faking this crime, because now people will not believe actual victims of hate crimes. And let me see if I can find his direct quote here.
I know that Jussie Smollett grew up knowing to be sensitive to matters about racial discrimination, any kind of discrimination, any kind of social injustice. And as a matter of fact, I'm learning more about it as we're going on in the letters I've been receiving and the testimony I've heard today. He's been doing this all his life. He doesn't just talk the talk, he's walking the walk. He's out there, he's advocating, he's involved in the community. He cares deeply about social justice issues. And for you now to sit here, convicted of hoaxing hate crimes, racial hate crimes, and homophobic hate crimes, the hypocrisy is just astounding.
Well, he's right. It's the hypocrisy. That's the big problem, is that you say you want to support social justice, you want to support the plight of the marginalized. You have set back the entire concept of a hate crime or whatever else dozens of years. Send it back to the Stone Age. Now, who is going to take hate crimes seriously with the amount of hoaxes that keep coming out, high-profile hoaxes, from celebrities even? You're a celebrity. Of all people, you should know better. You got the president, the vice president, to sign off on this and say, look at the horrible hate crimes going on in this country. And to be fair, there are hate crimes. There is racial hatred, racial bias, a bias of all kinds. But now the enemies of those who say, no, there's nothing wrong with America, well, they have a very high-profile case to point to. They can go see there's no racism. Jussie proved it. The only racism that exists, it's all a lie. And that is a very dangerous place to be in America. It's a very dangerous place. We have to admit that there still are biases, of course. But when these people come out like Jussie trying to make a name for themselves, make a name in being a victim. It's shameful. It's disgusting. And real victims are going to be afraid to come forward. They're going to say, well, what if I'm labeled a liar, a hoaxer, like Jussie? What do you... It's a terrible situation. Now we're going to listen to the sentence. Some people don't like it. Some people are happy with it. I'm going to say this. I feel like it's a reasonable compromise. But let's listen in and I'll tell you why.
I'm fashioning the following sentence, and here's your sentence. I'm sentencing you to 30 months felony probation, and the probation is going to be to this court.
30
You're
months
going to be allowed
probation.
to travel wherever you want. You do not have to live in the state of Illinois. You can report by phone. I know that if you're going to try to make a living and do some of the things you do, you may have to go to other places, New York and Los Angeles. You can do those things. You will pay restitution to the city of Chicago in the amount of $120,106.
$120,000 is about what they asked for,
$25,000
based on all the police activity and the cost of that, and an additional fine of $20,000.
The first 150 days of your sentence
150 days in county jail.
Right here,
That's
right
about
now.
5 months in county.
Mr. Smollett.
All right, well, we're going to get to his reaction to that in just 1 second. But let me say this. Jussie Smollett did not kill anyone. He didn't even really hurt anyone other than himself. Well, I mean, he hurt the city of Chicago. He hurt the general idea of, racial bias, whatever else. But ultimately, there is no bigger victim here than himself. Thankfully, no one was physically harmed. So ultimately, we have to be reasonable here. What he did was a great travesty, a waste of everyone's time and resources. But nobody's dead. Nobody suffered financial harm other than the city. He's going to pay that back. Okay. And thankfully he's able to. So I don't hate this sentence. I would have liked to see a year. Again, just based on the fact that he showed no remorse for what he did. In fact, he seems to still believe that he is a victim here. I'm at the point where I think this man is suffering from a mental illness. Maybe the whole family is suffering from a mental illness, but we'll get into that. I think this man might need to be committed. If anything, he needs to talk to a psychiatrist. He needs to get on some medication, because we're about to hear from Jussie about the great miscarriage of justice that has been done to him today. And this is... Oh, boy. Let's do it.
Do you have any questions?
No, I would just like to say to Your Honor that I am not suicidal. That's what I was about to say.
Okay.
I am not suicidal.
Okay.
I am not suicidal. I am innocent, and I am not suicidal. If I did this, then it means that I stuck my fist in the fears of Black Americans in this country for over 400 years, and the fears of the LGBTQ community. Your Honor, I respect you, and I respect the jury, but I did not do this, and I am not suicidal. If anything happens to me when I go in there, I did not do it to myself, and you must all know that.
Here's what I love is the judge just immediately does not even pay attention to him. Watch how quickly he's like, okay, crazy guy, let's go back to the paperwork.
I respect you, Your Honor.
I respect you.
Jail time. I am not suicidal.
I am not.
Mr. Uche, let me inquire, are there any post-sentencing motions you care
He's
to
just
present
done.
right
He's
now?
just done. He's like, all right, move it along, Jussie. All right, for those of you who don't get it, because I saw some people confused about this, why is he saying he's not suicidal? This guy, again, all right, here's the point that he's trying to make, and I don't know if it's come from a genuinely crazy place. I think he's genuinely crazy, but it might just be more of his acting, playing things up for the cameras. I don't know. Because there's been this thing recently where sometimes people are found dead in prison. A good example is a certain man named Jeffrey E., and the argument has been this man was not suicidal, yet he was found dead in his cell. There's some sort of foul conduct going on here. Did the guards kill him? Did somebody pay them to kill him? Okay. So, I don't know what this guy believes. It's possible he genuinely believes that there is a coordinated effort to, I don't know, there's a secret conspiracy against him that we're now going to kill the guy? The leaders of the global Hollywood elite are going to orchestrate to murder this guy in prison? Why? What would they accomplish? With Jeffrey E., the conspiracy almost makes sense. Like, the guy had dirt on some major world leaders, princes, presidents, whatever else. Okay, it makes sense that people want to kill him. Jussie, you staged an attack at a subway. No one wants you dead. And that's why I think, you know what? I don't know. I don't know if this guy is genuinely insane. He must be. He's very dumb. We know this. We know he's dumber than a bag of rocks. Okay? But I don't know if he's crazy dumb or like grandstanding actor dumb. He's so dumb. This is the dumbest thing. I am not suicide. As some people have suggested that it's an attempt. He doesn't want the papers to report on all the stuff the judge said. Now, the judge went on for like an hour. I'm not going to play the whole thing. But I recommend finding the court video and watching it, because it was just a savage takedown of this man's entire life, calling him a complete sham, that everything he claims to stand for is a lie, a narcissist, and an attention seeker, and a liar. And some people are saying he said, well, maybe I can make it so the papers report on me being a crazy psychopath, as opposed to the judge tearing me wide open. But here's going to be the greatest part of this. And again, I love this judge. Watch, this guy is just, he's so common sense. He says everything we're thinking. Where he goes, listen, I've gotten letters from the NAACP, from Black Lives Matter, from all these famous people, all saying that you're the greatest guy that ever lived and you love social justice. Yet I cannot reconcile that with the fact that you've set your movements back decades. Very smart man, very accomplished man. And I love this part where he speaks to the lawyers. Let me find it very quickly. All right, so here, she's going to say the word suspend. They want to suspend the sentence. Basically, they're planning to appeal, and they want to say, pending appeal, can we keep our client out of prison? Which is sometimes something a judge will grant. They'll say, sure, until the appeal happens, he can stay out. But let's listen in on what this judge has to say.
The jail sentence in light of the notice of filing.
No, that will be respectfully denied. Yes, Mark. Mr. Lewis.
It can be stayed in light of our notice of appeal.
No, I'm not staying. No. The wheels of justice turn slowly, and sometimes the hammer of justice has to fall, and it's falling right here, right now. I'm not staying this. This happens right here, right now. Okay. Charlotte?
Look, he's so upset. He's like, well, I'm not a happy man.
I'll talk to you about it.
You're going to jail, buddy. You're going to jail. I mean, this is a pampered individual, let's be clear, has lived his life with a silver spoon in his mouth. Oh, we're missing an outburst. Hold on. I missed this. Here we go. Jussie, what happened there?
I am not suicidal.
Yes.
I am not suicidal.
Not suicidal.
And I am innocent. I could have said that I was guilty a long time ago.
You should have said you were guilty, because you are. If you had that's the worst part. If this guy had just went in front of the judge and dropped all the nonsense about being a proud black man fighting for everybody's rights. If he had just said, Judge, I was going through a tough time in my life. I lost my mind. I went crazy. I came up with an insane scheme to try and elevate myself, and I've shamed myself and everyone around me. I've brought shame to my family and all of these organizations I claim to represent. I fall on the mercy of the court. I retreat from public life. I will never have a public career again. I have tarnished my name, and all I wish now is to find a way to make up for what I have done, give me community service, allow me to serve my community, and prove that I am not that man who lost his mind for one night in the winter of 2019. And I think that judge would have said, all right, man, all right, fair enough. You really screwed up. You've ruined your own life. And even the judge says, I cannot ruin your life any more than you already have. But if he wanted to stay out of jail, all he had to do was own up to it. And I think if he had owned up to it, I mean, I'm not going to respect the guy, but I would respect that move of if he had gotten on the stand and poured his heart out and said, sometimes greed and envy and wanting to be the most important man in the world blinds us and makes us crazy. And I clearly lost my mind. I'm going to get a therapist. I'm going to talk to somebody. There's something wrong with me, and I deeply own up to it. Who could, you couldn't kick that man while he's down. You'd go, well, Jussie, you really screwed up. I'm never going to be a fan. What you did is horrendous. But not going to keep kicking your corpse. Work on yourself, get better. I think a lot of us would have been okay with that. Instead, he said, I was attacked by MAGA guys. What were the guys? Were they like Dominican, like black as night MAGA guys came and threw a noose around my neck? This is nonsense. This is crazy. And the worst part, this is not the worst part, but it's one of the worst parts. I saw this, is that everyone is going along with this delusion. Again, we talk about all the organizations that have come out saying, oh, we must free Jussie on behalf of these marginalized communities. How could you keep a black, Jewish, gay man in prison, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Already tragic to see, again, figures like Kamala Harris and Samuel Jackson tarnishing their brand by defending this narcissist. But here comes the family, and these people are all living in a fantasy. And this is something we see all the time. This whole believe victims mentality. Everyone lies. I'm not saying they lie all the time, but everyone at some point in their life has been guilty of lying. Everyone is capable of lying. Okay? And so this idea that every victim, they've never lied ever before. Yes, you should be willing to hear out victims. But when their story makes absolutely no sense and there's video evidence disproving every aspect of it, at a certain point you have to go, I don't believe you. Mr. Jussie Smollett, Mr. Jussie Smoothie, I don't believe you anymore, my friend. And maybe it's his family, and maybe blood is thicker than water, but why? Why humiliate yourself? You must at some point know that your brother is guilty.
Pray peace over my brother. I pray the peace of God over my brother and all victims of oppression and hate. I pray that we can do better as a world. May the God of peace be with you.
What does
Shalom.
that even mean? Shalom, indeed. They are Jewish. It is a Jewish family.
My name is Jussie Smollett. I'm Jussie's youngest brother. My brother does not deserve this.
Yes, he does.
I watched my brother go from being a complete victim, which he still is. He was attacked, and he is now going to jail for being attacked.
They really believe this. He bought the plane tickets for the guys. He was on the cell phone with them. Why? How do you possibly? Do you just not read any of the evidence against your brother? This is insanity.
I saw my brother get locked up within 2 weeks for being attacked. Do you know how crazy that is?
No, it's not crazy.
They want to say in that court and say
video
they want to say in that
evidence.
court and say that he's the reason why folks aren't going to report hate crimes. They're the reason why folks aren't going to report hate crimes.
Because none of you believed it.
None of y'all believed it. We have letters from the NAACP, President Derek Johnson himself. We have letters from...
Yes, the NAACP has embarrassed themselves by getting behind... Yeah, that's their argument. We have all these letters from important people from the Rainbow Coalition. Okay, so they're all fucking insane as well. You're all nuts. Why do you keep damaging your organization? I see this so many times. I go, I want to support the NAACP. I want to support the advancement of marginalized people. But these organizations come out and they say crazy fucking shit that turns everyone against them. Everyone in America knows this man is guilty. Why do you feel the need to stick up for him? Okay, brother and sister, sure. But the NAACP... Why are you damaging the organization's name by getting behind this psychopath who is not going to... He's not suicidal. We know that.
Rainbow Push Coalition. We have letters from the Innocence Project, all saying that he should not be in jail. And they put him in jail. That judge chastised him. He chastised my brother. He does not deserve this. He was attacked. Do people never once think, even the folks who are naysayers, do you ever once think, what happens if he's telling the truth?
He's telling the truth.
Do y'all ever think about how poorly you feel in that situation? Bro,
you would have a point if we didn't have video evidence and text message evidence. What are you talking about? This is like if there's a video of your brother stabbing a baby 1,000 times. You go, that baby was coming right for him. He's the victim. No, the evidence is so clear. Why do you... If anything, it makes you feel better about your own mental state. Because I look at this and I go, at least no matter what's going on in my life, and I am not as rich and famous as the Smollett family, but at least I can go, at least my brain is fully functioning. I got one over on him. I got one thing going for me. I don't have the Smollett wealth and the Smollett mansion, but I have a functioning brain, and I think you out there in the audience hopefully have one as well. Well, guys, we'll see what happens from here. But Jussie is paying his $120,000 restitution, $20,000 fine to the city of Chicago, and most importantly, let's not forget 2 years probation. Was it 2 years, 3 years probation? But most importantly, and I hope this is a wake-up call for this man. 150 days in the Cook County Jail. Now, do I think this man will spend time meditating on where he went wrong? No. I think this crazy man is currently plotting his insane comeback. He goes, I'm going to prove them all wrong. He's O.J. Simpson. He's going to find the real MAGA guys. He's going to spend the rest of his life finding the real MAGA attackers who tried to, on that cold, snowy day, throw a fucking rope around his neck and steal his Subway sub. Well, Jussie, I wish you the best of luck, buddy. Good luck. God bless. And enjoy that prison food, you fucking psychopath. What is wrong with you?